Mr. Alan in the world of toys. Boxings and museums, reviews and reviews. Mr. Alan in the world of toys. Unboxings and museums, reviews and reviews. Mr. Alan in the world of toys. Welcome back, my friends. This is Mr. Alan in the world of toys, and I'm back live with awesome guest tonight for another party live with other friends. And very happy because today we celebrate over 10 million views of the channel. Actually, this is the number of my views right now. Yes, take a look at this number. This is super cool. Now, let's talk, let's introduce in my show my dear friends. And we start with the awesome friends that probably this is the episode number 11 with him on my show. So let's do it, the intro for my first guest. My first guest of my over 10 million view show is an awesome guy. If you love Mini-Maze, Marvel Select, if you love Lord of the Rings figure, you know Diamond Select toys. And my guest is the one and the only Zakot. So welcome back for the, I believe, 11th time of my show, the one and the only Zakot. Zach, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. It feels like more than 11 shows, but I'll take your word for it.
Probably, I think maybe 12, because I think this is the third party together with you also, and we did 9 episodes for Diamond Select Toys, so probably it's 12. As I mentioned before the show, I'm really bad with numbers, so mistake with numbers is typical of me. But let's try to introduce another historic guest, awesome artist with my piano. The next friend of the show is an illustrator, awesome artist, was a part in many episodes of this million views party. And my other guest is JP. Mainga is JP Mainga. So welcome back on the show. JP, welcome, my friends. How you doing, man?
Hey. Good to be back. I'm doing well.
I'm very happy to have you back, to enjoy, to have fun together. And now it's time to introduce another great artist. So it's like I try to place a job for artist friends because we are Diamond Select Toys Zakot and we're great artists. So maybe we start a chemistry because of me. So let's introduce the next guest. Since when I was a kid, playing with wrestling figure was really cool. And one of my favorite golden era wrestler is Andre the Giant. Hey, boss! And this guy, this artist, in my opinion, is the best sculptor in the toy wrestling figures and beyond. He's an awesome sculptor. Let me introduce to you the one and the only Alex Heinke. So, Alex, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Hello. Good to be back.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. Zach, being on 11 times is impressive. I think I've been on maybe 5.
Probably yes, because I think we do 2 shows with just me and you to talk about your awesome art, and probably 3 episodes like this. When this is the 3rd episode, party, million views probably. As I mentioned before, I'm not good with the numbers. Is the reason why I put this number to celebrate my numbers on views: 10,500,028, 142, and that means that
This is super cool.
So
That's a lot of views.
the show works like that. Each of us can put a question to each of us. So, for example, I can have a question to Zach, and then a question to Alex or to JP, or JP can have a question to Zach, to me, or Alex. So everybody is a guest and everybody is a host in this show. So I start with my first question, and the first question they put to all of you is that: what is the things that you hate the most, something that you really don't like? So let's start with Zach.
Oh gosh, that's a tough question. That's not at all the question I was expecting. I would have been fine with who's your favorite artist, which we've done before, or something like that. What do I hate? Oh my gosh. Anybody else got an answer for him while I think about one?
I got my answer.
All right,
Hey,
JP, you
what
go
is
for
the things that you hate the most?
Being in cold water.
Oh, okay. But like, because cold water can mean also in bad times, or cold water, real cold water?
Rain when it's cold, in a lake, ocean, cold water, cold shower, just cold water.
Okay.
Don't like it.
So also
I
in the
don't like-
summer, you don't drink cold water, also in the summer.
No, I drink cold water. Cold water is okay. I'm saying like like I don't like being cold, but I could deal with it. And I don't mind being wet, but I can deal with it. But together, no.
Okay.
Hate it. Yeah.
Alex, what is the things that you hate the most?
Oh man. What? JP's answer is kind of funny because one thing I hate the most is being too hot. And the nature of being a sculptor is that I'm always working with hot wax under a heat lamp with a soldering iron, with the torch, and like under lights. And so everything's always hot that I'm working with. Or if I'm not doing that, I'm teaching sculpture at a school where there's like welding. So I'm like welding and it's super hot. So my dream is always just to like walk out in the snow and just be cold. Yeah, but I mean, I thought the question was more about what do you hate like in your in working life in sculpture or whatever. And what I hate in the working life is if if I have like the vision of one person I'm trying to sculpt for, that's good. And if there's like 2 or 3 art directors, it's good. But if there's like eight people with different visions who are like art directing me, then it's like too many cooks working on the soup.
Yeah.
But other than that, if I'm sculpting, I'm happy. So there's
Cool.
in the working life, there's not much.
I understand what you mean. Also, because if you have different art director, everybody has a different way to see the project. It becomes tough. Find a way to satisfy everybody. No, I think. Meanwhile, I know the Zach start to thinking something about. I give you my things that I hate so much. And it's something that I will need to do in about 3 months, 4 months is flying. Go to the plane, flying. I hate that. Because I'm not afraid that the plane can crash. I'm afraid, now I try to do a perfect pronunciation of my English. Because I tell you a little story. Yesterday I did a show right here. And my girlfriend actually sleep in the other room. He told me, I understand really well your English because your pronunciation is really bad. So let's try to a good pronunciation. So I'm not afraid to go down with the plane, but I'm afraid to be without the yard under my feet. No, I don't like that there is the void. I hate the altitude, no, be really high. I don't like be on the top of the mountain and watch, because I don't like altitude, no, be really high, and I don't like knows that I'm in a plane, and the travel, for example, from because I told before to the other friends, JP, I will be at New York Toy Fair on March, no, and the flight without stop, because I hate when the flight start, not that goes up. This is the worst moment to me. And I ate two things. Actually, one is you can escape, because you need to stay there for 9 hours in the sky with no yard under your feet. So this is really something that scared me. And also, I ate watch in the windows of the plane, because I discovered that what happened is there is the void under me. So this is something that I really don't like. Meanwhile, shout out for our friends in the chat, Edoardo Mastrocola, that actually is an Italian radio DJ that did I believe, 2 interviews for 2 of my novels in Italy right here. So he's a great Italian supporter. So thank you so much, Edoardo, to enjoy the show. Also because to us in Italy, it's at 3:20 a.m. To me, it's normal. I like the effort of Edoardo to watch my show in the middle of the night. So the thing that I hate so much is fly on the plane. It's something they need to do coming soon. So probably if some of you as an advice are welcome, because I need to figure out how I can manage my fear to fly, to know that I'm in this little vehicle, not little, but a vehicle, no, is limited, your space, and also you're in the void of the sky, no. So if there's some suggestion now, my suggestion is obviously I will have my computer, because I need the computer to edit in my videos when I will be at Toy Fair, I'll be interview, so I can watch something on Amazon, Netflix, no. My girlfriend would be with me, so I will try to do that reading, but maybe I will knock the door to the Prince Valium. Do you have any advice for my fear of flying?
Well, it sounds like you definitely shouldn't look out the window. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny.
No window.
I like flying, but I'm afraid of heights. But I enjoy flying. I guess I just feel safe in the plane, because I know that I'm not going to fall out of it. It's so sealed and tight. But like if I'm on a high building, I can't go near the windows. It drives me crazy. But that's funny that I like flying, but I don't like heights. I don't know why that is.
I mean, I do think there's something about fear where it's all about the anticipation. So I have a 5-year-old, and he was like about 4, like he wanted to ride a roller coaster, and we went to a bigger roller coaster, like a older kid roller coaster, and he did it the first time, no problem. And they wanted to go later in the day, and there was a huge line, and so he was stuck in the line for 20 minutes before the roller coaster, and he was anticipating being scared on the roller coaster, and so he couldn't do it. And so like, all right, do you want to do a smaller roller coaster? He said, yeah, and that one had a line too. And so the 30-minute line, again, got him with the fear. And so if he just walked up to the big one, he could do it. And I really thought about that. It's something true about fear. It's about the anticipation. So my only advice is distract yourself up to the moment you get on the plane, so you don't have time to think about the plane crashing and burning and like you dying. Like if you distract yourself, it's over.
I remember, distraction is really important things. For example, remember the only time that I flew actually was in 2020 when I went to London. It was a really short flight. It was a Ryanair plane, so really, really tight, really small, like a train almost, no? The size of the Ryanair plane is not really big. And at the time, to distract myself, I read a book of Stephen King, Colin Sell, that talk about crashing plane. So it was a bit because I don't read synopsis. I don't like to read the back cover of the book. It's because I want to be surprised when I read a book. And when I discover that, I say, oh my gosh, maybe it's not the right book now. So
I was
I
going to
only
suggest
send
reading a book.
I have only a message to the people that watch my show because I changed the date for a future show with Chris Dahlberg, the sculptor. He will be on my show on Sunday, December 8th, instead Sunday, December 1st. Just a little reminder to my viewers. But Zach, so what is the things that you hate the most?
I really don't like noise. I like it to be nice and quiet and peaceful. I mean, when I'm in my office, I can get away from like the sounds of my family. I have 3 kids. 2 of them are homeschooled, so they can get a little noisy. And at night, like tonight, they can be, yelling around and stuff like that. But, being put away in my office, I can feel better. Music, I'm okay with if it gets a little loud. But like going to a concert, I'm just not a fan of it. Being like a loud, bar or restaurant, I get really, it's not my favorite thing. It's not like, so extreme that it causes me problems where I like have to leave or cover my ears or anything like that. But I just don't enjoy myself if it's a loud place. So
when you go to San Diego Comic Con, it's really loud. You don't feel really well.
It's a pretty dull roar at all times. But it's not like during setup you'll have people blasting music like a couple booths over and it'll be just constant noise. But once you get to that dull roar of the show, it's not so bad. It's like white noise, which isn't so bad for me.
Okay. So now let's change the topic, but let's change the host. So now is the turn to JP to put a question to all of us.
I think you're muted, JP.
Yeah, JP, I think you're muted. Yeah. No. It's interesting because the same things happened yesterday with a guest in my show yesterday. That now I see the icon that is muted now, JP.
Can you do it? Maybe you muted him?
No, me.
There we go.
The better?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, it's my headset. They just check out from time to time. Anyway, yeah. Now I was saying hi to a commenter, Claire, somebody I know, friend. Question for everyone. If you could interview one person, dead or alive, for 1 hour, who would it be?
What is the first one that will answer this interesting question? Zach.
Oh gosh.
Volunteer, Zach. A volunteer. Come on.
I can do it if you want. Did you got somebody?
No, go for it, Alex. Go for it. I'm still thinking.
All right. So I would want to interview Renaissance sculptor, goldsmith, silversmith, Cellini. He was a great artist, and he wrote an autobiography that is absolutely crazy. And he was clearly exaggerating a lot of things of his life and like adding a lot of like sauce to it. And there's only a few of his works that exist. And so you don't get a really good sense of his entire career through his work, because there's like one kind of salt and pepper shaker and then 2 or 3 sculptures. And some of his stories are so outlandish. I want to like interview him in person, because I feel like I could get a sense what percentage of those stories are real and how crazy was his life. Like, how many people did he really like murder? Like, did he really like shoot a cannonball that like split the other army in half. Like, it was just such a wild life. I want to meet that guy in person. And he wasn't really a good person. Like, he was definitely like evil in a lot of his stories, but he was entertaining. So I would love to interview him.
Cool. So let's see. To me, Dead or Alive is a good question because there is a lot of artists that want to do an interview with him in person. Should be awesome. But if we want to stay in someone that's still alive, probably it's David Lynch, because I like his movie. He's an interesting guy that is not just Marco quotes, just a director, but he's an awesome visionary. So he's a guy that I should be interested in doing an interview with him. Absolutely, I think David Lynch is one of my top dream guests. Zach?
Gosh, that's really tough. I used to work for magazines. So I've interviewed a lot of people, including a lot of great musicians and actors and stuff like that. But it'd probably be I don't know. Would it be Weird Al Yankovic? He's a musician I listened to a lot when I was growing up. And just talking to him about his ideas and where he how he chooses songs and where the ideas come to him the most, and just it's a weird suggestion, but it just popped into my head of like Alive or Dead. He's somebody I've never interviewed, and he's always been like around the house. We're constantly making up songs and just singing random lyrics to things. This tonight in the car, they turned every song that was on the radio into a song about chicken, the kids in the car. And it's just it'd be very interesting to talk to him about his life and just how he developed as a musician, for what it's worth. But that's my weird answer.
Cool. And JP, what is the answer of your question?
For me, I would probably have to say Da Vinci, Leonardo.
Wow, this is a big pick.
Yeah. Because I mean, right now the economy is so big and we're all so specialized that I just feel I would love to talk to someone who got to be at least honest about their curiosities in terms of the notes we see, right? So he was an artist, obviously, draftsman, sculptor, but he was also a scientist, inventor, designer, and yeah, I just think it would be really, really inspiring just to be able to talk and to see like how his mind works and how he thinks, and kind of try to absorb some of that sense of freedom to just be able to use the full capacity of one's intellect without, I'm sure he had concerns for the marketplace because he had like patrons and clients or whatever, but still, I don't know. I think it'd be interesting, although that's kind of an obvious artsy kind of answer, but I'm really interested in that because I feel like at some point I had to make this choice between art and science and engineering, and I don't like that I made that choice.
Cool. So, Alex, now is your turn to pick a question and send this question to our heart.
Okay, so I'm gonna spin off the Da Vinci's career because he seemed like he had a career where he could kind of do everything, like be an engineer, like be an inventor, be a painter, be a sculptor. He did sculpt like a giant horse that I think was destroyed. But so here's my question for you: if you had like another lifetime to live and have another career, would you do something the same thing, or would you do something like in a slightly different field, like just adjacent to it, or something totally different? So I mean, that's the question. If another lifetime, would you keep going in what you're doing, or just add a little something, or do something totally different?
Yeah, I start first this question because is something that I ask myself so many times. This type of question, no? Probably because as an artist, I change different times my way, because in the beginning, when I was really young, a kid, like in the elementary school, my big passion was drawing. So for a while, drawing was my dream. Try to do something in the future. But when I finished the middle grade school, my parents were against the possibility of do a school of art, and they put me in another type of school that wasn't for me. I was rejected so many times. I remember that I went to school at 10 a.m., 11 a.m. I was with the director of the school every time because the teachers refused to have me because it was too late. So because it wasn't my cup of tea. But my parents, especially my father, was against a school of art. Then the music take over my life for a long time. So I have this life for a while. Just music was my thing. So I was the opening important musician in Italy. I produced by myself a album, but only one single was released because they told me good music but not marketable. So because of that, I changed my skin once again, and I start writing. Writing was to me an escape. Also today is like that. When I'm upset, when I'm angry, when I'm not happy, writing is my way to find a relief. Because when I'm writing a story, like in these moments, I'm working speaking of first draft of my book number 43. I published only 6, but 43, my story number 43. And I love the first draft. No, I love writing. I love especially the first draft because there are different steps. No, the first draft is my love because I don't know what happened. I go into other world. I start with an idea, and the character is a character driving that put me in the story. And this is to me is a magic moment. Then there is the second step, the second draft. And if you, in the first draft, do a story just for you, in the second one, you need to think about the audience, no? To do a story that can work. So maybe you change, you cut, obviously before to go to a publisher with an editor, no? And then the process that I do, but I don't like so much, when you start to do a commercial proposal to the agents. So, however, is my big love. And at the same time, I started to do YouTube. But YouTube was in the beginning a channel of wrestling with over almost 20 million of views, over 50K subscribers. But during this process, I started to be bored of that also because I started to do this other channel. So, in few words, I changed many life as a writer. So maybe if I can go back, because it's difficult, because sometimes I say to myself, maybe if you can go back in your life, maybe you can put aside the music because the music business was really frustrating, and maybe I can start immediately to writing on YouTube, because if I will start this YouTube of action figures maybe in 2005, 2008, maybe now the channel can be bigger and maybe with more money, actually, But now when I go back to writing, because for 1 year and a half, I stopped to writing just because I had 2 channels on YouTube. It wasn't possible to find the time to writing. And when I started writing last year, after 1 year and a half, in 1 year, I wrote in the first draft 3 book and a half with this one. So I become a machine. Today I wrote 3 hours and I did 9 pages. So it was a surprise for that. So to me, probably I can say maybe yes, the music helped me in some way, because in Italy, when, for example, the linear note of my book was made by a popular singer, so I meet famous artists, become a friend. They're speaking of marketing style, marketing point of view, not style. Obviously, a publisher you have this famous singer that put a linear note on the book or do a video for you, can help. So everything can work. I was on TV on September in Italy, and I'm a friend of that anchorman because of my previous life as a musician. It was really focus of my possible success. So I become friend with many with popular artists. No, so probably everything is necessary to every step of your life, I think. So if I put away, I skip one of my change, probably I will not have the same things that I have right now, because writing is also another way to play music, because when I'm writing, I listen music, I built a playlist that give me the soundtrack of the story. So maybe my approach with words is similar also when I wrote in the past the lyrics of the song. Everything is a mashup. So probably sometimes I say, yes, maybe it was better if I can come back, do only writing on only YouTube. But probably it's like to delete a color of you. You can be the same Alan or the same Zach or the same JP or the same Alex without a part of you. Everything is necessary for the present. So the present that you have is a combination of everything that you did in the past. So probably I will redo the same things. Maybe I will try to avoid some mistake. Honestly, probably I published my first novel in 2013. Maybe if the beginning of writing was before, maybe my first publishing was before. So this is the thing about. But move on to another guest, another answer, because I think it was too long with this answer. But now Zach has a long time to think about it, so I think Zach is ready to answer the question.
I majored in art in school, mostly illustration. I did some sculpting, not a lot of traditional sculpting, but some more abstract, like working with wood and metal and stuff like that. And I do wish I had, tried harder at being an artist, because I did have a great time doing art in college. And, I do think that has influenced me, like in terms of, writing about toys and sculptures and stuff like that. But I do wish that I had, tried harder to become, an artist, even if it was an illustrator, a comic book artist, something like that, a children's book illustrator, something that's always been a dream of mine. But that would have been, to go back and try again to live that life would have been, I think would have been good for me. But JP, what do you got?
It's interesting because I interpreted the question as, you live this life, check. What other kind of life do you want to live? But the answers seem to be, if you could redo this life, how would you do it? Which question is it?
I initially meant it as if you get this life and you get one bonus life after.
To do something else.
Yeah, not an infinite number of bonus lives, just one bonus life.
Oh, okay. Because
So only 1 second, JP, because it's time to introduce our other friends in the show. So if you love mythic legends, you know the guy. If you love cosmic legends, you know the guest. Is the one and the only Chris Gawrych from the Four Horsemen Studio. So please welcome my dear friend Chris Gawrych.
hey, Chris.
Coming live from my bathroom, because it's the only place I can get anywhere to. I got to be kind of quiet because people are sleeping.
How you doing, Chris?
I classed it up with a hat today.
Cool hat, my friend.
Hello, everybody. I know 3 out of the 4 people in here. So hello, JP. Nice to meet you.
Hey, good to meet you, Chris.
Zach, Alex, how are you?
Good
Hello.
to see you.
Good.
I just saw Mutton Chops not too long ago.
Yeah, I saw you at Danbury Toy Show, the Shop the Curiosity Toy Show. Thank you.
So, how's everybody doing? I haven't gotten a song in a while. I'm very happy. Thank you.
Yeah. I like your voice is more like, I'm Chris Gawrych. I like it's more baritone today.
Yeah, that's my trying to be quiet voice.
So I tell you how works the show. Everybody can put a question to everybody. So right now there is the question by Alex Heinke. It's the turn for JP to answer the question. And Alex, repeat your question also for Chris.
Oh, so the question is, if you had one extra life after this one, like one bonus life, like what would you do, particularly career-wise? Would you do like kind of the same career a second time, or like something slightly different, something like art-related but like a little bit different? Or would you go in a totally different direction and be like a race car driver or anything else? So basically, if you have a bonus life, what do you do?
Okay, now we hear the question by JP and Chris think about his question. JP, go ahead.
I think that I would have done something completely different. And I don't know. I want to do something more physical. Actually, when I was in high school, I really took a very careful, long look at the military. And then when I was actually coming out of art school, this was right at when 9/11 happened. I looked at something in that space as well, not military, but more clandestine services. And I don't know. There's some challenges there that I think are really interesting in terms of trying to make a difference in a different way and affecting the world. And art's great because it's my mind, and I get to touch as many fields as possible in art in terms of speculating, whether it's science or engineering or literature. Like I get to kind of touch it, but it's also not very physical, and it's all kind of like speculative. And when I was younger, I was an athlete. I like to do a bunch of different things and use my intellect in a physical way. So yeah, I think I would do that. And and maybe that life would not last as long because I get shot, but hey, the bonus life, right?
Yeah.
So Chris, your bonus life.
I mean, it's hard to say because there's so many questions involved with this answer. Like, do I remember my previous life? That's the main thing. I mean, did I already live through my first life and I remember what I did so I can do something different? I mean, like, obviously everything we choose in our life leads us to where we're at. And I am the most content with my life I've ever been right now. I love everything that's going on in my life pretty much, minus the lack of housing. So I can't buy a house right now. So it's hard to say because through our lives, we've had those periods where we're like, if I went this way, my life would have been so much different. And so, there's a number of those. So it's hard to say, like, I could pick any of those and I probably would have enjoyed it. But I don't know. I really don't know how to answer that. There's too many choices.
Okay, now Zach, is your turn to build a question and send this question to your arrow through our hearts.
I should have been preparing more for this moment. I watch a lot of movies. I used to be a movie critic, and I think if you could pick one movie that sort of sums up your interests and your personality, what movie would that be?
Tough question. Which of you want to start with this answer? Let's go to Chris.
Most people would probably say this, but I would have to say Big Trouble in Little China.
Okay.
That would sum up a lot about me.
JP?
I don't even know.
Wait,
Because like how one movie is such a narrow. I don't even.
I almost just asked what everybody's favorite movie was. Your favorite movie of all time, but
no,
but,
the change. No,
that's
no,
easier.
Zach. The question is awesome.
Yeah.
Don't because favorite movie is too easy. But answer this question, I think, is more meaningful. I like it. No, we stay with this question because I like it. Because I think is a movie. The pick a movie is an inspiration for your life. What you are right now is an interesting question. Maybe we give some times to JP because I have an
Yeah,
answer.
I can answer it, JP, if you want to think for a minute.
Yeah, you
Alex,
take
go
that
ahead.
one.
All right. So I think the movie that sums up everything, kind of my personality, would be Total Recall. The older one, the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, because I love just stupid, over the top action, but I also really love actual like science fiction. And Philip K. Dick was such a great science fiction writer, and so the core premise of that is from him. And I love science and NASA and all that kind of stuff. And so it has so much good science fiction ideas mixed with totally absurd visuals from Verhoeven, mixed with an action movie with Schwarzenegger in it. I think that movie comes the closest to summing up everything I like mashed together in one movie, and it's a crazy movie. And also traditional special effects, like the eyes bulging out, stuff like that. I mean, the digital stuff is nice, but there's a visceral feeling to those traditional special effects, which is just, it's me. I mean, if there was more traditional effects in movies, I'd probably be doing movies now. But because so much of it's digital, I don't know. But that movie is encompasses many aspects of me. I guess that's it.
Alex, do you also have 5 kids to feed?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man.
Cool. I think I'm the only one without kid right here. I think because Zach as kid, Chris as kid, Alex as kid, JP. How many kids do you have? One.
So
no, I don't have kid. I have only a pug.
Well, I'm sure eventually I'm going to have another one, so that'll put us at what 0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So I have a movie. The problem that is an Italian movie. This one, so I don't know. I don't think there is a release out there for this one because it's a thriller. The went bad on the box office, so I don't think was never launched overseas. But it's a movie. No, it's not my favorite movie. My favorite movie, as a viewer of movie, I love director like David Lynch, Tim Burton. I love. I met Tim Burton actually, not a while ago, a year ago in Italy, right here, 6 minutes from my house. I love the brother Coens. I love Scorsese, this type of director. But if I can pick a movie that changed something on me, is a movie from Italian director. In general, I don't like Italian movie, but this one was really good. Was a movie by Giuseppe Tornatore, is a director Italian, and was played by Gerard Depardieu and Roman Polanski. Polanski as an actor. It was a story. The Italian title is I don't know why I can translate this because a pure formality, like the translation, the straight translation of the title is about of a writer that he doesn't know that he's already dead, and he go in a police station, and the officer of this police station is Roman Polanski. Then ask him what happened because a person was killed, and ask him what is this guy that was killed, and he doesn't remember. Gerard Depardieu is the writer, no, a popular writer. And only in the end of the story is discovered that the people that was killed is himself because he killed himself in the story. And he forgot that. So the role of the Polanski policeman was to help him to remember what he did to his life. And this was I like the story, but I like especially the character of the writer, the charisma of a writer. And at that time, I was only a musician. So I started to think about to start a novel because of that movie, because of the atmosphere, also the tough subject about the life, because as I mentioned before, writing is a relief to live. And also it's surreal. You can go through the barricade of the reality and go to another world. So something that maybe you don't believe in the life can happen in a story. So I like writing. That was the beginning to me to write. So JP, you find your answer?
Yeah, I think I have one. There's just so many. But in college, I ran into this movie. It's a Dutch movie. It's called Emma's Shadow, and the story is about this girl. She's like 9 or so, and kind of from a wealthy family, and her parents aren't really paying attention to her. So she runs away, but she makes a ransom note, like she got kidnapped, and she leaves it. And she ends up befriending this maybe a little bit mentally handicapped guy who works in the sewer system. And she ends up living with this guy because mentally they're similar age, but he's like a middle-aged man. And so the police are all investigating and scrambling and whatever. And anyway, so it was interesting to watch this movie where you could see how a child interprets the world and then how the adults interpret the world and how much it misaligns because of the different stories of what reality is. And it's on both sides. People had to wake up and take risks in order to meet in the middle, and everybody got back together or whatever. But for a while there, she was able to con them once and get some money because they needed money. Anyway, I just think that for me, what that movie connects me back to is, art. As an artist, you keep a part of your childhood, I think, and you almost have to constantly live and be in that space to produce, at least for me. And that there's a fun side to it, but then there's like an honest side to it, always touching the part of you that never grows up. And I feel like, at least in me, there's different voices telling different stories about reality, right? And it's like, I can't affect my reality without being able to go deep into fantasy land, because that's what I do. And at the same time, like, I can't address reality without looking at what's tangibly here all the time. And it's ironic because in order to solve very real world problems, I have to escape to very crazy, things, and then come back and, do my invoices and so on and so forth, and then go back. And so, yeah, I think that's the one that at least speaks to me at this moment. Hey there.
I have a tiny collaborator here.
What is the name?
Can you
What
wave
is the
hi?
nil of your baby?
This is Jasper. Say hi, Jasper.
Jasper.
Can you
Hey,
say hello?
Jasper.
Hi,
Hey,
Jasper.
Well,
Jasper, it's bedtime. Shh, go to sleep.
So many hands.
yeah, he suddenly got shy. Trying to figure out what's going on here.
It's a Zoom call. Get used to it.
Yeah. This ain't COVID. Come on. So Zach, what about your movie?
Gosh, I think I have a really quirky sense of humor. I think, and I'm also a writer, and and I don't write a lot of fiction, but I write on a daily basis. And there's this movie called Gentlemen Broncos, which is directed by Jared Hess, who does he did Napoleon Dynamite, for instance. But it's about a writer who runs out of ideas. He's a science fiction writer, and I love science fiction. And he steals an idea from one of his not a student really, but this young writer that he sort of mentors a little bit during this writers camp, and not only is it a very surreal comedy movie, it's also a lot about writing and about like different ways stories can be interpreted, kind of like what JP was saying, but you see his version of the story and the kid's version of the story like play out on the screen as science fiction stories, where Sam Rockwell plays these two very different roles, but it's the same character. It's so the idea of being a writer and struggling with ideas and seeing other people take your ideas and taking other people's ideas and reinterpreting them, and also it being a very, very unusual comedic movie, I think speaks to a lot of like what my interests are and my personality.
What was the name of it again?
It's also one of my favorite. Gentlemen Broncos. It's also one of my favorite movies. So I
think I saw that.
Yeah, it's got Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords and from a lot of movies as the writer, and not a lot of other huge names in it, but it's very, very entertaining. I highly recommend it.
I think that tonight I have the most younger viewers of my channel. Chris, your movie that changed your life, your point of view. What is
I already said it, didn't I?
I would be curious to know how Big From Little China reflects on you personally.
Oh man, come on, because I'm inside I'm Asian. I'm Chinese, of course. Lord knows I've been to China enough times. It should count. And my kids are half Chinese. It's got to count, right? But I love the whole, the supernatural, the cultural aspect. It does reflect, on me a lot. It's crazy, it's wild, it's funny, spiritual, I mean, a lot of what's in there is very reflective of me, and again, like I'm big on Asian culture anyway, so it's all me.
Okay,
what genre would you say that movie is?
Well, I was going to say, God help me if I ever find a Asian girl with green eyes. Forget it. I'm done. What genre? I don't know. What would you consider that?
Bunch of genres together.
That's a lot of genres.
Fantasy.
Yeah.
Maybe a crossover between different genres.
Yeah.
Action, fantasy, comedy, right?
That works for me.
Paranormal, action, fantasy, comedy, supernatural, thriller, young adult, everything. So, Chris, do you have a question to us?
Sure, why not? If let's see, how would your life be different if you didn't know me? No, just kidding. JP's life would be the same. What time period would you like to visit if you could, without any ramifications whatsoever? I'll start Mr. Allen. How about that?
Time period, but you mean also in other era of the humanity or of my life time period?
Oh, any time period at all.
Any location?
Any location.
And you get to remember?
Hell yeah.
Probably
Can't go forward. Can't go
Probably
forward. That's the only thing.
I should
Oh.
say if I was born about in the beginning of the previous century, probably right here, right now, in the same age, I will be more popular as a writer because today there are so many people that writing, and now find a literary agent is so tough because they receive to 1,000 of query letter, and it's impossible. At that time, it was easy because was not so common writing. It was not digitally, so it was different. So probably was more easier be a writer, also musician, because also in the 70s, if you remember in the 70s, if you do experimental music, rock progressive, this stuff, you can do everything. Now, if you have an original idea, your point of view, also in the literary market or music market, especially music market, it's tough because they told you, yeah, it's a good book. I love your vision, but it's not marketable because in which genre you will are. And remember, in this moment, this genre doesn't work, and we have thousands of requests, so we need to scream everything. So maybe 30 years ago, 100 years ago, just because to have a easier way to reach my goal to be a bestseller author.
Well, so okay, so that was kind of off what the question was. It would be you were only visiting. Let's put it this way: you're visiting for a week, any time period.
For a week.
Yeah.
Probably
So-
because I like you. I wear a top hat because I like this style. No, speaking of the outfit. So probably in the now I'm in trouble with numbers because I'm always in trouble in numbers because to tell you how many views I have, I need to put you the banner and say these are my views today and say
This is super cool.
So which century? Probably 1,800 when the people were top hat, when was normal walk in the street with a top hat. So I like this style of dressing. So for that probably.
That makes total sense. That tracks.
So pick your next
I'm gonna go with that guy right there, Zach.
Oh man. I would love to be an adult in the 1980s for a little while because I just feel like I never really got a chance. I mean, when the culture I experienced in the 1980s was like cartoons and toys and stuff like that. But to experience like grown up 80s culture, like as a grown up, I'd be very curious to see what that was like back then because
so hookers and cocaine.
Yes, there you go. All right.
Okay.
No, just the music, the clothing, all the fun stuff that adults got to enjoy. Just going out, seeing movies for the first time in the theater that just come out, and I don't know. I just think there's a lot of fun stuff going on at the time that would have been cool to experience as an adult. Not that the 80s cartoons were fantastic.
And you could have kept all those toys in package.
Yes, and then I would have picked up all those toys in package and brought them back to
All right, JP.
There is an archaeological site called Göbekli Tepe, which was was excavated in the 90s. They started, and a lot of interesting things about it. Supposedly, it was buried 12,500 years ago, and an artifact out of time. And I would love to show up at some point while they're working on it and watch those people and be able to communicate with them and see what their culture is and what was going on at that time in the world. There are a few sites like that around the world, roughly correlating to that epoch. But I'm very fascinated about that time. What was civilization like? What was language like? And what people were like in the sense of depending on what you look at, what you read, we've lost a lot of genetic diversity in humanity. And so it'll be interesting to see what mixes of people were at a site like that. Kind of nerdy, but that's how I roll.
Very interesting. Alex?
Well, first I want to say that the Göbekli Tepe is super fascinating because there's sculptures on all those pillars, and there are different styles. I mean, some of them are kind of like realistic, and then some of them are super abstracted and surrealist, like stretched figures, and next to like a realistic animal. So it was like they had multiple artistic traditions already at that point.
Yeah.
Which is mind blowing. It's like they had different ideas of how to like sculpt something in relief or not in relief or distort it or whatever. So it seems like it was already, it's the middle chapter of the book. And so that's a really great answer. I was going to say either like ancient Egypt or like 1975 to 1980. Just the same thing as Zach, because I want to see that as an adult rather than hearing about it like as legend. Like kind of the hype around Star Wars when it first came out, how it permeated pop culture. Like I'd love to see that like in person as an adult rather than just being a historical thing. Same thing with all the stuff like in the late 70s going up to like E.T., that kind of thing.
Please, I want to hear also your answer of your question.
It's going to be a cop-out, but it'd have to be at any point during dinosaurs. Because simply put, like it's something we're never gonna know. You know what I mean? Like anything in human history, we have somewhat of an understanding of, because humans for the most part are humans, people are people, and you got alligators and stuff like that. But I mean, I want to see some giant dinosaur just stomping by, walking, making noise, see what they sound like. What does it smell like? The humidity levels, just everything. Like no one's ever going to experience that. So that's something that I would love to see.
The big challenge will be also survive that.
Yes, that's true.
You have to tell us if they'll have feathers or not.
Yeah. And then when they find my fossilized body millions and millions and billions of years later, like, wait a minute.
This just raises more questions.
That's right. Especially because my fossilized body will be like this.
That'd be interesting. I mean, it's one thing to visit, like somehow, shielded or protected,
Yeah.
And then actually interfacing with the environment, because on the one hand, I feel like there probably would be plenty of food, assuming that you could, but your immune system wouldn't be, set up for whatever's going on, and the allergens and plants and like it might be like a whole different deal,
Yeah, the oxygen levels, who knows?
Yeah.
I
think they can tell that from ice cores, I think.
Right.
Atmosphere type of things, but
but I think they say like it was like higher levels of humidity, and and obviously Pangea and whatnot was more closer to the equator, so it's hotter, and a very different world.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I want to try dinosaur meat too. I want to see what it tastes like.
So in this question, we not meet each other because we go in different era.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to pick a time in humanity, I'd have to say during the time of the first 33 years of the zero clock, the BC AD switchover.
Yeah. All right. So I gotta go. But,
okay, I do also because it's time is the end of the show. So I do the outro, so also Alex can leave. Everybody can leave.
All right, thank you.
Today was a blast, celebrate over 10 million views of the channel. Actually 10 million and a half, over 10 million and a half of the channel. We my friend Zakot, with my friend Chris Gawrych, JP Mainga, and Alice Heinke. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. Fun fact, where I play the song, right here in the other room, there is my girlfriend that slept. So I don't think she doesn't sleep so much. And maybe after the show, I will hear some... Probably. Yeah, sometimes it's tough live with an artist like me. So, guys, thank you so much. See you soon to all of you, because now 11 millions is around the corner. So the next party is not so far away. And before to say goodbye, I remember to tell everybody the next episode of the show probably will be on Saturday, December 7th with Brian Flynn. But stay tuned to my social media to be sure that is the date. So thank you so much. And before to say goodbye, thank you again to Chris. Thank you, Zach, and also Alex, and also JP. Alex with my mind, because Alex is left now. And before to say goodbye, there is a little short 60-second video to all of you. Good night, and take a look at this video. Thanks for watching, my friends. And please smash that button, my friends. Please smash and subscribe. Help this channel to go to 100k subscribers, my friends. This is my dream. Please give me your love, guys. But also, guys, leave a comment and share this video with your friends, guys. But also, my friends, consider become a patron to choose the next content of the channel. And also, my friends, become a member to be my guest in my show. That's right. And now you can see this video, or maybe this other video, or maybe another interview, reviews, unboxing, stop motion, tutorial, and more for you guys. So thanks for watching. Thank you so much, and subscribe, my friends. And so long, everybody. So long, my friends.